more credit than what's deserved, right? You see some posts or comments, whatever, people do things and they be like, so glad Kendall came in your life. I'm so glad you healed, whoop the whoop the whoop, right? Please understand, I didn't heal my wife. All right. Just for those who are already in a situation and you've already crossed behind enemy lines and you're in love and you have these traumas, I didn't heal my wife. As a husband, what I'm supposed to do is manage, orchestrate, and create the right environment for her to process through it safely, intelligently, accurately, and securely on her own, because you can't rob any man or woman of their journey of self-discovery. You can't be God. So I can't get that credit. Your man, your woman can't get that credit. But what I was responsible for was creating a safe environment so that she could hear from God, that she could find herself, that she could try new things, that she could take more control in a safe environment where I will protect her.
This right here is so powerful. Now, I don't know the details, but this was a clip of Fantasia and her husband Kendall talking about her healing and growth. And I thought it was a phenomenal clip for me to use just to speak to the women and the men in these type of relationships and or situations, because we talk a lot about femininity, we discuss masculinity, but we're not really having detailed discussions for what femininity looks like or what masculinity looks like. So today this is a clip that reflects good masculine energy. See, a lot of times when it comes to women searching for a or an applicable mate, she will say something like, I want this person to have this intellect and experience because he needs to be able to teach me. Okay. And a lot of men have that same perspective as it relates to finding a partner, that they want someone that they can teach. Now, here's where things get a little difficult around the teaching concept as it relates to relationships. There are different ways to teach. Now, there are teachers that believe that teaching equals holding your hand for every step. Some people believe teaching means cheering you on and never pointing out previous failings, but all things positive, right? And then you have people that perceive themselves to teach that don't correct, don't criticize, don't even give a lot of verbal feedback, but they demonstrate. And those are different aspects of teaching. Now, in my opinion, a good teacher or leader, which to me they're one and the same, but you choose with your own mind, a teacher and a leader tend to carry some of the same attributes in my opinion. And a good leader and or teacher will assess the capabilities of the person that they're trying to teach and or lead. Now, even though we have this common conversation about what a masculine man is, what a feminine woman is, and we tend to discuss these characteristics as bullet points, as if to say that a man can't stray from this list of attributes that make him masculine, or a woman can't stray from this list of attributes that make her feminine. But we all know when we really get down to the baseline and get introduced to these people, there are gray areas that we might need to bend or understand, because masculinity is not a specific term per se. It encompasses an array of attributes, some of those being more masculine than other attributes, but they're all still considered masculine. You see what I mean? So we have to be more broad in our understanding instead of being extremely precise and narrow minded, because a really good teacher will assess his woman and understand how she learns and what she requires, basically the environment that she needs to be the most fruitful. And a good man, a good leader, will create that environment for his counterpart. So you have shy women, you have ambitious women, you have insecure women, you have determined women. Even if these are not women that seek a career or they prioritize family, you will still get these variations within their personality traits. So, there are women that do need you to hold their hand and teach them every last step in the way you want them to do it and demonstrate it for you while cheering you on as you figure it out. Then you have people that just need to be cheered on while they put in effort. Then you have people that don't need any of that. What they actually need is to see you evolve, to see you take steps, to see you create a better person within self so she can see how it's done and apply it to herself with her own logic and understanding and awareness within herself. Now, if he's a good teacher, he's going to know that his first order of business is understanding the way that he teaches and the way his partner understands to in a sense, customize a teaching program specifically for her that she may or may not be aware of. See, now, if you have a confident woman, a woman that is very, takes a lot of pride in herself as far as her abilities to accomplish and reach her goals of her own accord. So she's a person that likes to know she can reach her goals just from her own determination and energy. You see what I'm saying? As a partner, what you want to do, if you are a man who's a good leader, is you would assess that characteristic and understand that the holding hand method may not be the most effective. You may make her feel instead like she's incapable instead of encouraging her to propel herself forward. So you may try the cheering method, or you may try waiting on her to inquire. You may also try demonstrating to her and either wait for her to ask for assistance or stand next to her and demonstrate how you would do it if this was something confusing to do. Allow her the option to choose if this will work for her and support her decision because you understand that she comes from a place where she wants to make her own decisions. You see what I'm saying? And this makes a big difference in relationship. Yes, a woman does want to be taught and led by her person, by her husband, but she also wants to do that with respect. She also wants to be allowed to prove herself to her husband. So there's a fine line between teaching and creating an environment where she feels like she needs this lesson to be her best self versus teaching her and giving her the sense of the environment that says you're capable of anything and I support you 100% of the way because I trust your judgment. I trust the direction that you're choosing to go in. I trust your goals that you set in front of you because I love who you are. Those are two different environments that breed two different outcomes. And in this circumstance with Fantasia, she had a man that understood she needed the environment that was carefully customized around her so she can do all that inner work that she needed. So this is a good combination situation right here. Kendall understood that Fantasia was a powerful person. She was seeking to heal and she was on her journey. And because she already was displaying attributes about herself that suggested that she didn't necessarily need much guidance, Kendall understood that and instead focused his agenda on building an environment for her so she can just focus on what she needs to do for herself. And to me, that reflects the qualities of a good leader. And it says that he he understands who she is. And because he understands who she is, he can also understand what she needs. And I think that this is, like I said, a big, big, big deal as it relates to relationships, because oftentimes, yes, the woman wants her man to lead, but she also wants to be respected in her own mind apart from him as well. So he has to be able to lead her and teach her and give a space that is open for her own mind and her own decision making abilities and her own confidence and goal setting and achievements. So for him to understand that she could get there on her own, she just needed somewhere where she felt safe, is a powerful thing to be able to identify and perceive within your partner. Because some partners don't need it and they feel belittled by it. Some partners feel that they are less capable because it's something that's consistently offered. And there are some people that genuinely believe in themselves and they know that they're capable and they can get there. All they need is just a little love and support. So to have a partner that understands down to the last detail what type of guidance and teachings you need and or require to support you getting where you need to go, the sky is the limit for a queen who has a king who understands. And I think that when we talk about traditional relationships and commitment and being the masculine, the protector and provider, we don't have enough conversation around this proportion of the dynamic, because a lot of women, in my opinion, are lacking this part of the equation, and that is why they're always trying to push him and get him to be something, because they want to see him in a place to guide in a way that they can feel growth and elevation. So if they don't feel that progression, it comes innately to a woman to think that something's wrong. So kings, this is not to be a criticism. This is more to really tell you where to focus your energy. If you find your wife to be maybe combative, if you find her to be naggy, if you find her to feel as though she's giving you energy as to not being happy with the progression of your relationship, have a detailed sit down with her and compare notes. See what her expectations are in relationship with you guys' union, as far as where you guys intend to go, what that looks like, and how she wants to feel included. Because women tend to really feed off of and excel well in environments that show progression, even if it's not a fast level of progression, like something new every year. We would at least like to say that where we are now is different from the year prior. And if we can at least keep that going, her hope is always intact. Her excitement is always intact. Her looking forward to the next big thing is always intact. And sometimes that can look like giving your partner something to do within the business, within the goal, within the vision. Because some of these partners don't necessarily have ambition that's propelling them in a particular direction. They are best served to be your helpmate entirely, which means pouring their energy into what you need to get done to reach a particular goal. And so a woman in that particular situation may appear to be dissatisfied in some shape, form, or fashion, but in reality, she just needs a task. She needs you to say, babe, I'm trying to do this. Can you help me with this? Just asking her to do those things makes her feel included, makes her feel like she knows what's going on, and makes her feel safe enough to focus on other things and not be so heavily focused on you and what you're capable of providing for her. These are the responses that you get from women who are displaying fear and not being aware of what is taking place and not knowing how to process what to expect or what the fallout would be. A woman in the space of the unknown is a very uncomfortable situation to be in, because she tends to tap into her worry energy. She tends to be very anxious, very worrisome, and that doesn't do anything for his peace. So understand who she is so you can understand what she needs. And if you don't know, just by understanding and watching her patterns, sit her down, have this conversation, because ultimately she loves you. She chose you for a reason. Unfortunately, a lot of women are not as good about being tactful in relaying the message to you. They tend to be very worrisome and anxious, and all they know how to do is get that to dissipate. They just want to not feel anxiety, to not feel worry. So responding to those emotions can look like they don't believe, like they don't feel safe, they don't trust you. And sometimes it is a little bit of that somewhere mixed in there, but ultimately they want to feel understood and they want to be safe. When a woman feels understood and safe, very little ruffles her feathers. When she is holding a magnifying glass to every little thing that occurs and micromanaging to a sense, she doesn't feel safe. All of these things are indicators to her that something is wrong. So she is in a state of panic. And if you can understand that a simple adjustment in the environment she requires from you to make her feel safe, calm, and happy will eliminate a lot of the things that she tells you she's concerned about, when in reality all of that is stemming from her worry. And all of those things would typically go unnoticed in other scenarios because they're so fulfilled and they feel so safe and they feel like they have so much access to their calmness that the things that would ruffle their feathers normally wouldn't take them there. So as a leader, as a provider, as a protector, knowledge of your partner and what makes them feel safe is key. Because if you can provide that, she tends to be very flexible in other areas of her existence. It's when she doesn't feel safe that she can be the most destructive to a relationship. And sometimes it's knowingly and sometimes it's unknowingly. But if you can really assess your person, have good communication with your person, you can get right down to the baseline and understand exactly what she needs and develop consistency in that area. And I promise you, you will see her perform, and not just for herself, for you as well. Peace.